Hello and welcome back to another video, another part of What If Luffy Was Never Born. Today we're going to actually get into the second act of the Wano arc, and with that we are rapidly approaching the actual current stage of the manga, and I have no idea what I'm going to do with this what if scenario once I actually catch up, because I have no idea what's happening in the manga. For people who are caught up with the manga, holy shit, and for people who are not caught up with the manga, holy shit, maybe read it or something, especially because the anime is on a hiatus now. It's insane at the moment. But for now, let's get into the better One Piece, talking about Moria and his crew. But Moria doesn't even appear today, probably. First of all, let's talk about Moria. So, Moria, yeah, Moria does appear, but that's only because he doesn't appear. First, we take a quick look at the interlude that happened between Act 1 and Act 2. In this, Moria went to Hachinosu Island, where he wanted to rescue Absalom, who got captured by Blackbeard. But obviously in our version, all of this didn't happen, and there are a few consequences because of that. First of all, Moria doesn't have to go to Kuragaina Island or Hachinosu, so he will never encounter Blackbeard, and Blackbeard will never invite Moria to his crew. Those two things will not happen. We also learned that Fujitora and Ryokoku, like Green Bull, were fighting against the executives of the Revolutionary Army, and they caught Sabo and all these different things. But because we have no relationship with Sabo, like we are with Moria or Caribou if we go with that side of the story, but we have no sort of relationship with the world government, the revolutionaries, the marines, or anything. I don't even know what Kobe is doing right now. So yes, those things are happening here right now. Oh, and something also, because Absalom never got captured by the Blackbeard crew and Moria never needed to go there. Remember that guy, Shiryu? Shiryu got the devil fruit from Absalom. He got his Sukesuke no Mi, the see-through fruit there. And now that Absalom is still alive and well and even stronger, what other fruit might Shiryu have gotten? Whatever might be your idea, what devil fruit ever the Blackbeard Pirates might have acquired for him, please write it in a comment and tell me what is, in your opinion, the best fruit that Shiryu might get in this scenario. But for now, let's get into the actual Act 2. So, first of all, we have Shutenmaru versus Inuarashi, or as we can call him also, Ashura Doji. First of all, we're going through the things that are actually happening like canon. We have Inuarashi fighting against Ashura Doji because they have some sort of misinformation, miscommunication, because Ashura Doji is, I think, a bit angry at them for leaving for 20 years or something, because Ashura Doji is one of the people who I think didn't get time jumped, so he spent the 20 years actually in Wano, while Nekomamushi and Inuarashi went over to Zou. Kinemon and the others just jumped 20 years into the future. So Ashura Doji is, I think he has some built-up frustration with all of his comrades and all these different things. But that's not the most important thing. Obviously, Tama is also recovering in Amigasa village from being beaten up by Kaido. No, I don't think she got beaten up by Kaido. She would be alive if she did. But somebody beat up Tama, and we don't know necessarily who it is. And over at Onigashima, Queen and King are berating Jack for getting hurt once again, because Jack fought against Ashura Doji in the last part. So he has some injuries, but he's not that badly hurt. So now we are here. The Flower Capital, Shinobu, together with Perona, infiltrated a high-ranking official's house to spy on them. In there, we'll learn a few lore informations. We'll learn about Ushimitsu Kosu, who's like going around stealing things, acting like a thief, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, and all these different things, like a Robin Hood guy. And we also learn about Kamazo, who's the street murderer going around. So we learn about those two different things. And what's also happening is that the secret that Kinemon is going around with, the secret message of like gathering allies for the war against Kaido and all these different things, this is spreading very far, even into the ears of some people that shouldn't hear it. So Perona almost got caught with her while on her trip there with Shinobu. But with her flight ability and with her negative hollows and everything, she can easily escape and flee from that scene without making too much of a problem of everything. While she flees, she sees Absalom, who is running a hamburger shop. Yes, Absalom is both the Frankie and the Sanji of this arc for me, because he is both working as an apprentice craftsman and as a street food vendor. Why? I have no idea who is the cook of the Moria Pirates, of the Thriller Bark Pirates. I think it was Sindri, but I guess Absalom can also cook? I mean, everybody has some sort of cooking knowledge, and Absalom seems like a guy who can cook. He has blonde hair. And we all know that all good cooks in One Piece have blonde hair. So, but that's not important. Basically, Hawkback, Sindri, and Absalom meet at the food stall, discussing their plans now that Moria got captured. But before they can talk long, 3 thugs from the Kyoshiro family appear, and they want to, like, extort some money out of Absalom. But, well, Absalom doesn't see any reason to actually, like, pay them. That's the reason why he quickly refuses, and but because he refuses, those 3 thugs just start knocking out the hamburgers out of the hands of every other customer, which doesn't necessarily anger Absalom, because Absalom, he sold it, he got his money, he might be a bit of a douchebag even though like people didn't get to eat it, but one thing happens. They knock out some burgers out of the hand of a few female customers and one certain young female customer who is important for the further story. So instantly after they knock out the food out of the hands of the young female customer, he beats two of them into the ground. One punch both of them and they are out of the count. They are literally knocked out, unconscious. And one of them manages to run away and reports to Kyoshiro. Kyoshiro then continues later to contact Queen and these things, and Queen is like going after to send some assassins after Absalom later on. But after dealing with the people, Absalom prepares another hamburger for the young girl, who introduces herself as, well, Toko. While laughing whenever she spoke, well, Toko is a very special girl, always smiling, always happy. So after eating, Toko runs off and joins up with Komurasaki. Komurasaki is like the prettiest woman in Wano, at least to what the people there say, and we see a few things there. It's also the point where Sindri's master appears to her at the shop and tells her that she would attend a banquet together with the greatest of all Oiran, I think, Komurasaki. A banquet for Orochi, so Sindri is also going to attend that banquet together with Komurasaki. So the Komurasaki scenes happen normally. Basically people simping for her and wanting to get stuff out of her, and then some men try to make attacks against her because they say she scammed her or something, and then just guards are protecting her from all of that, and the people get exiled from Wano or from the cities. So she's safe out there. That's basically what's about there. And we continue in Amigasa village, where Momo talks with Tama about a few things. Basically Tama asks Momo about his sister Hiyori. We learn that Hiyori would actually be 26 years old, and if she was still alive, she would be, I don't know, she would be somewhat like this, and we see a bit of Momo talking about his sister. However, Momo doesn't have any plans to have a reunion with her until the war, because he wants to protect her from Orochi actually targeting her, which is also quite interesting. I have no idea how Tama... Is it common knowledge that the Kozuki family had 2 children, Momo and Yuri? Is it common knowledge? Because Tama wasn't alive during the incident. Tama is like the same age as Momo, or maybe a bit older or younger, but she for sure is not over 20 years old to know what happened back then. I guess some people told her about it, but So basically after this we see Orochi talking with the CP0 and everything goes there like normal. And now we get to the banquet. In the banquet, everything is going like normal. They have a few talks here and there, a few flirting with the girl, and after some time, Sindri sneaks off during the banquet to gather information. A bit more sneaky than Robin, because Robin had the chance and ability to make a body double. Like, she could make a second body out of her devil fruit, and she could just walk around safely without anyone actually finding out where she's going, and then just dissolve the body when everything was going south. So Sindri needs to be a bit more careful. So when she gets found out, all they can hear is her voice, because she's like hidden herself between different things, and she's has a veil over her face or something. She's just keeping herself hidden more. So all the people from the Orochi Oniwabanshu, all they can hear is our Sindri talking and reporting the situation to Perona, Shinobu, and Brook, who also infiltrated that place. So Sindri, even though the Orochi Oniwabanshu heard her rush from the banquet and get back there, they don't know what she looks like. They know her voice and maybe her height, but not her actual appearance. So in the banquet room, we see Kyoshiro, who is quite drunk. He talks about avenging his comrades from some long time ago, and Orochi takes this opportunity to talk about revenge and all these different things, talk once again about Toki's prophecy. And everybody just keeps quiet about this. So they find Orochi's statement ridiculous, because it's just hilarious how someone is still so scared about some ghost returning who have been dead for over 20 years. Everybody keeps quiet though, because they know what would happen if they didn't. But there we have Toko. Toko doesn't stop herself from laughing. And because of that, Orochi gets enraged. And well, we all know that what Orochi would do. Orochi picks up the sword and wants to kill Toko. But before he can actually do that, before he can actually strike the attack, Komurasaki slaps him. She slaps the hell out of him, and she knows what just happened. She knows what a kind of major form of disrespect she just performed, and she refuses to apologize even though all of this just happened. And Orochi transforms then into his Yamata no Orochi form, and well, he contemplates about attacking Komurasaki, but his anger, well, it leads him to actually starting an attack. So the Orochi Onewabanshu are also spotting Sindri at this point. Sindri is trying to escape together with Toko, even though Sindri, I don't know if she would care about that. I mean, she seemed to be nice to everyone besides Hawkback, because Sindri's body belonged to someone Hawkback was simping for very hard, but like the soul, the shadow of the person inside of Sindri didn't have anything against Hawkback. But for some reason, Sindri herself, like the whole constellation of body and shadow, had something against Hawkback, which is also another like proof that the zombie also shows some things against the people. So they want to escape from there, and while all this is happening, Brooke spots her like rushing away and instantly goes over there to protect the lady. We all know the Oniwabanshu is not that strong. So Brooke overpowers them and just takes care of everything. And then we are over at something else. Hanzo is another member of the Oniwabanshu. Climbs up the attic, spotting Perona and Shinobu up there. Shinobu, I think, used her ball crushing jutsu, which is basically just throwing a metal ball into the balls of a man, and stuns the Hanzo with this attack. And then after that, she uses her devil fruit powers to make the floor under her rod, because she has the rod, the mature fruit. So she makes that rod, and the entire attic drops on Orochi. Even though this action frees Komurasaki, the Oiran then stood in front of Kyoshiro. And Kyoshiro goes there and basically cuts open everything from Komurasaki, kills her in the spot. She stands there and gets struck down by Kyoshiro, which can be seen as a samurai's mercy. So that's the case. Even though Orochi is distraught or is sad or anything about the death of his favorite woman, he decides to instantly chase after Sindri and Toko. So we need to take care of that now. So because of that, we are here. We are seeing what Perona is doing now. Perona wants to assist one of the few other women of the crew. Because which women are even on the crew right now? It's only Sindri, Carrot if you want to count her, I don't even know what she's doing at the moment, and well, Perona. So who needs to take care of Sindri? So first of all, she sends down a negative hollow into Orochi, which instantly makes him depressed. Because we've seen how good the negative hollows are, and Orochi doesn't seem to be someone who knows Haki and all these things. So I will say he's getting depressed. He's for surely depressed, thinking like, oh, I'm so useless. It would have been better if Odin would have still been alive and taken over everything. I should have died that day. I'm so useless. So he's there sitting on the ground, and after he's like depressed and everything, Perona also throws in Kumashi Jack, who basically just knocks out Orochi with one singular punch on him, knocking him out on the ground. Obviously he's not dead, he's just knocked out there, and everybody just sees like a big teddy bear with the trunk of a mammoth appearing, and then Perona just takes him and flies out of there again. So meanwhile, while all this is happening, we see something else. Chaos in the capital. Spread the shadows, guys. Absalom gathers more information about the blueprints of Onigashima. So he learns about different people who acquired the blueprint, and that it was stolen from by a man in Kuri. So we don't know what's going on there exactly. So this information then gets shared with Kinemon, who is going to look into that deeper. So after telling Kinemon all about this, Absalom wants to return to the Flower Capital, but he gets stopped by Law and Hawkback. Why is that? Well, they tell him that 2 of the Tobiropo, the Flying Six, well, X-Drake and Page 1, are looking for Absalom. They are the assassins that Queen sent there. So Page 1 starts rampaging in his Spinosaurus form and also attacks civilians, which Absalom can't stop himself. So he already changed from being, he already changed quite a lot. He already changed like from being a scumbag and being a hopeless pervert, from being a pervert but not a scumbag. So people often called him a hero. He got called a hero multiple times. So he can't just watch the Spinosaurus dude destroy all these things. So Absalom rushes out there and attacks Page 1. So we see this fight here. Basically, an invisible person against the Spinosaurus, which is the same as in canon? Okay. So basically we arrive here and Page 1 calls Drake for backup. He just wants to think like, I don't know how strong this guy is, I just want backup to make sure or something. But Absalom then tells him something. Just says, this won't last long enough for you to get back up, and you won't even be able to see me afterwards. So he envelops his fist in a haki before quickly turning invisible. Closes into Page 1 in like a split second, and before launching an attack on Page 1, which sends him flying through multiple buildings. But after that, Page 1 gets up and rushes straight at Absalom, who returned like into visibility again. And now this is his turn, sending him flying as well. So he sends him flying basically through a few buildings there as well. And now we see both of them standing against each other. We first see Absalom, and we first see Page 1 who's standing there huffing and puffing after being hit. This one hit actually already made him like quite exhausted and hurt. But Absalom just stands up from the rubble of the buildings, shaking off and scraping some few stones out of his hair or something, from his luscious blonde hair, and then he just looks at him. He's not hurt. For some reason he got through it quite well. And then Absalom turns invisible one more time. He uses Soru straight towards Page 1, and he jumps above him. And now this is going to be a new attack from him. Once he was invisible, Page 1 couldn't spot him anywhere, even with his observation haki, which I don't even know if Page 1 has observation haki, but I'm going to say he has it, which would only make sense. Even with the observation haki, he couldn't find the invisible person for some reason. So he's looking around, thinking like of different locations he could be, like below him, next to him, behind him, and all these different things. But what he didn't expect was that Absalom that's the wrong gif. Absalom is actually above him. Actually, he jumped above him, and then he looked down there and basically just started talking. He monologued for a second here. He just started talking with, dinosaurs may have been the rulers of the ancient times, but they went extinct for a reason. This is the age of the lion god. And then he makes his attack. Mahes Meteor. For everybody who wants to check out who Mahes is, his name is written M-A-A-H-E-S. It's pretty fitting, if I might say so. So, yes, we continue here. Basically, during this attack, his entire arm turns black once more, and he ignites in fire from the speed of his attack, pounding Page 1 into the ground and leaving a huge crater. Like the meteors that destroyed the dinosaurs or killed all of the dinosaurs, he is now using a meteor as well to defeat one of the Tobiropo with ease. And after finishing the fight, Absalom escapes he escapes instantly. He just runs away thinking like, I did that, I don't need to fight against both of them, I just took care of one of the Tobiropo, which shows me, maybe we can actually win this war. If I can take care of one of the Tobiropo this easily, maybe I can actually help Moria with Kaido. So, after finishing the fight, he escapes together with Law and Hawkback, who were there as well. And meanwhile, we see Ryuma, who got rescued a man called Tonoyasu. This is somewhere in a different location. The whole fight with Drake is not happening because Drake is somewhere else right now. He's looking somewhere else, and Page 1 got already knocked out. So now we are here with Ryuma and Tonoyasu. Tonoyasu instantly recognized who Ryuma is, but he kept quiet about it, because Tonoyasu is also just a fake name which we manga readers or anime watchers know, but in this version obviously Ryuma doesn't know who he is. So Tonoyasu basically leads Ryuma to Ebisu town, where he like originated from. All there, Ryuma meets the citizens who all look at him, and all of them are laughing constantly and refuse to just let the extreme poverty and hunger bring them down. So Ryuma looks at them and thinks like, this is what he wants to see. These are the samurai of his country. These are the people who don't want to be defeated. These are the people who are standing up. Well, he doesn't know about Smile Devil Fruit. But they at least don't, even if the laughing is fake, they refuse to let the extreme poverty and hunger bring them down. And he's there. And he doesn't know that Tonoyasu is a descendant of him, or some sort of branch family. Because I think Ryuma is a Shimotsuki, and this is Shimotsuki Yasuye. So I think Ryuma is the direct ancestor to Shimotsuki Ushimaru, but I don't know what the connection to Yasuye would be, and we all don't know what the connection to Zoro would be. But now that we have this done, we take a look at the last thing of this part. Well, Sindri, Perona, Brook, and Shinobu escape from Orochi's castle after dropping off Toko at the Red Light District, where like she lives. They then went together with Kanjuro to the Northern Cemetery in Ringo, where they talk about Kyochiro's actions, because it was confusing what Kyochiro did, like killing Komurosaki and all these things, and that Kyochiro is the leader of one of the Yakuza. Because Kinemon and, well, Kanjuro don't have that much information about this time here right now. Because once, at the time, 20 years ago, there was the top Yakuza boss who was called Hyogoro. But that was 20 years ago, so they don't know what happened during the time jumps period. They don't know what the Yakuza is currently doing, if Hyogoro is still alive, or where he's at. They also talk about something else. Brook reveals that during his own recon mission during the Orochi Castle raid there, he saw a poneglyph. He says it probably wasn't a road poneglyph, but they can't read it, so they need to find a way to actually get the information out of the poneglyphs if they actually want to get to the One Piece one time. Because our boy Moria stated he wants to become the Pirate King. So yes, Moria needs to look at a few different Moria needs to look at a few different things to know how to learn to read the poneglyphs, and I don't know how he's going to learn that. And after all that, we see Shinobu, Sindri, and Perona heading to the Flower Capital to go to the bathhouse. And that's this part. This is the part with the mightiest of warriors. This is our boy Absalom showing another massive W. And, well, obviously I had to upgrade a lot of the Strawhat Pirates, but with all the training they had in the 2 years and the practice they had on Dressrosa, on Zoe, on Whole Cake Island, all these different things, they had to grow a lot more powerful. And this is the end of this part. Next week we're going to look at the second part of Act 2, and we'll see what is going to happen there. But until then, I hope all of you are going to have a beautiful week, and we will see each other again on Thursday, where we are going to talk about the most overrated devil fruit. Please look forward to that, and I hope you are doing okay. So until then, stay safe, stay cultured, and most importantly, stay hot.